Okay, I'm going to bring to order the meeting of the Green Bay Sexual Offenders Residency Board here for August the 8th. I'd just like to start real quick. Do we have to go through the roll call or not? Okay. Roll call. Dean Gerondale, Renee Keenan is here, Kathy Kramer, and Melissa Cheslock is here. And it looks like Heidi Michael has called in where she cannot be here today. First item on the agenda is approval of the August 8th meeting notes. Does anybody want to make a comment on them or make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Okay, the vote's coming through.
Okay,
Kathy, just waiting for your vote. Okay, same as the past.
okay, we're going to start with our first appeal, which is for Mike.
Minutes.
Yes.
15 minutes. 11th.
Oh, I'm sorry. Second is the approval of our minutes for the July 16th special meeting.
July 11th is the first one.
July 11th. Oh, man, just kicked me out. Okay. The first is to approve our meeting minutes notes for the July 11th meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Seconded.
Okay, vote should be coming. Unanimous is passed.
All right, next we have our meeting notes from our July 16th meeting. Anybody want to make a motion in regards to that?
I'll make a motion to approve it. Seconded.
Should have the vote. Unanimously passed.
Okay, we're going to move to our first item on the agenda, which is the appeal of Michael Greisick. Is Michael here?
Yes.
Mike, would you please come up? Michael, we're going to be talking about your case today. As we do talk about it, I want to make sure that you understand kind of what we're going to go through today. First is when we talk about the particular victim, just refer to the person as the victim, not by proper name, or it was my daughter or aunt or whoever it may be.
Okay.
Second of all, we may talk about your educational treatment programs, and you have the right for that to either do in public or private session. Which would you prefer?
Public.
Okay, great. Okay, we're gonna get started here. Michael, currently you're living at the TLP at 1761 Shawano Avenue.
Correct.
All right, you're looking to move to 1681 Deckner Avenue, apartment number 9, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. First, I'd like to start off with, tell us about your sexual assault back in 2003 against a 9-year-old. What happened there?
It was, do you want like details?
I want details. What happened?
I forced her to touch my penis, to masturbate me.
On more than one occasion?
Correct.
Okay.
For about a year, it happened.
Okay. And how did it come to light that you were abusing the victim?
She informed her counselor.
Okay. And then you were arrested after that?
Correct.
Okay. And how did you, in your case, how did you plead?
At first, not guilty.
Okay. And then when it went to trial, did you plead guilty, or you went through the trial and
I
you were
was
convicted?
convicted.
Okay, all right. Question for you, did you actually commit the crime?
Yes, sir.
All right. Just from a standpoint of the case, is that correct in terms of what he originally pleaded not guilty and then what he did to the victim?
As far as the plea, I'm not sure what his description of the event is accurate from what I have.
Okay. All right. Sir, so I guess the first thing is what was going through your mind as you were abusing this girl?
I was selfish. I wasn't thinking of her feelings or anything like that. I was thinking more of my gratification, my self-gratification, which was wrong at the time.
How old were you?
I was 30 or 27, 8,
And how much time did you serve again?
13 years.
Okay. And during that time, you didn't have a chance to do any SOT training?
Correct. I asked for it repeatedly, saying, when can I get my program? I was told that I was on the list, and come to find out I was never on their list for the program. I mean, like I said, I have all the documentation showing that, I asked for it, and they failed to give me the program, and currently I'm on the waiting list now for it.
Okay. When were you released?
April 18 this year.
Okay. Does anybody have any more questions in regards to his conviction and the crime he committed?
I do.
Yes, ma'am.
With the way that you described the crime, you said that it was for your own selfish gratification, and you weren't there thinking about the victim, the child victim. Any point in time it crossed your mind that it was inappropriate simply because of the age?
Yes.
But you continued to do what you did.
Correct. I was out of control at that time.
Now, is there any other, did you have any other victims that you were not convicted of that you assaulted during this time frame or before?
No, sir.
So if this was your only time, what led you to this particular victim and what you got out of it versus a normal relationship?
I took advantage of her. It was more or less a thrill thing that I, forced upon her. Like I said, I took advantage of her trust in me as, an adult.
Okay. So, are you currently employed, sir?
Yes, I am.
Where are you employed?
Valley Transfer.
Okay. And what do you do for them?
I am a truck driver.
A long distance truck driver or
I local.
local?
Yes, sir.
Was that your profession before you were convicted?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions for him?
I have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
Pretty much, coming forward with everything, why did you plead not guilty?
That was advice of my lawyer at the time, counsel. I expressed that, I'd like to plead guilty, and I was naive to the justice system. I didn't know how it worked, and he said, well, you don't want to do that. You want to plead not guilty, go through the trial, go through that process. So that's what I did.
Under support, you name your wife, but when you say who you will live with, she's not listed. Are you?
Correct. She lives in Florida.
Oh.
Any other question?
Yeah, the question here is, does your wife have children?
Yes.
How old are the children?
They are 19 and 25 and 13.
And 13? Is there any plan in the near future for her to move here with a 13-year-old?
No.
It says here in terms of when you got out here that you also have to maintain and obtain full-time employment, which you have. undergo psychiatric or psychological evaluation. Has that been done yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what's part exactly? It was a compound question?
It was just basically his conditions of release. He's basically maintaining full-time employment and then psychological treatment, undergoes psychological or psychological evaluation.
Have you undergone the evaluation?
I did an assessment. I don't know if it's the same, you know, it's included in the sex offender, the treatment program.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
Okay.
Just how.
So if that was the evaluation, assuming that,
Correct.
then it's only the treatment that you're not undergoing now?
Correct. I'm currently on the waiting list for it.
With who?
Addict services?
Okay. Are you currently on GPS?
No.
Okay. Upon your release from the TLP, will you be on GPS?
No.
Okay. All right. Any other questions?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Do you have a no contact with the victim?
Correct. Yes, I do.
And do you have any other family here in town for support?
No, I didn't.
So why should we let you live in the city of Green Bay? Obviously, you haven't had the treatment yet, which, you know, under what you're telling us, you applied for it, but you didn't have it yet. So tell me why we should take a risk of you being here.
Because I'm just looking for a second chance. I like to, as far as giving back to the community, I think a way I can do that is, maintaining my full employment, paying my bills, getting my treatment, having a place to live that would help my rehabilitation. Like I said, this is my first time ever being in prison, going through things like this. I've learned my lesson. I'm just looking to rebuild my life and try to make up for my past mistakes when I was selfish. I'm not the same person I was back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I would be a good candidate to move into the city.
Right. I mean, you can understand my trepidation here is I'm just, meeting you now. I don't know what you were like before versus what you are today. And that's why the evaluation and psychological treatment in terms of SOT training carries a lot of weight here, just from the standpoint of potential risk of reoffense.
I had the assessment done while I was in prison, and everything came back that my reoffense was low. Everything was low.
Well, do you have a copy of it?
I do not. I wish I had that copy. The only documentation I have as far as is my appeals to get into the treatment program while I was in
Okay.
prison.
All right.
I said, I was asked the question, well, how are you not going to reoffend again? And my answer was, because the price I paid the first time was too high. I lost friends, family, my self-worth, everything else. And that's the answer I can give, is that I can't afford to reoffend again. I just can't. I'm not that same person again. I'm just looking for a second chance to rebuild my life.
Okay.
I have a question for you. There was a prior offense in Oregon for harassment?
Correct.
Okay. Is that where you're from originally?
No, I'm originally from Green Bay.
Okay. And you have no family, no relatives, no friends here?
I have family that lives north of Green Bay, but that relationship is no longer. I lived here and then I joined the military and I was gone, and I got out and I lived out in Oregon at the time, and then I moved back to Wisconsin.
Okay.
I have one more question. In regards to your victim, you said it affected her horribly, but with therapy she was able to overcome that. How do you know that?
Because I'm in contact with her mother.
Okay.
And she's, like I said, she's doing great. She's doing well, so I'm happy for her.
All right. Does anybody have any more questions? If not, unless you have anything more to say?
No.
Okay.
Do you have anyone here to speak for you?
Yes, I do.
Who would like to speak either for or against him? Raise your hand, please. Sir, why don't you come on up? I just need your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Roger Schultz.
And where do you live, Roger?
2339 Forest Meadows Court.
Okay, just want to let you know you're limited to 3 minutes. Go ahead, sir.
I just wanted to let you know that I am a lifelong friend of Mike. We met about 37 years ago in grade school. He's always been a great guy, stand-up guy. He's never had an anger issue, substance issues, nothing like that. He's just always been a great guy. His family was basically my family. I think I ate dinner at his house more than I ate at my own house. So we were very close growing up. And even when life took us in different directions, we still kept in contact. He's a hard worker, just all-around great guy. I would have no issues with Mike moving into my own neighborhood. He made a huge mistake, I don't deny that, but I think he deserves a chance to try to rebuild his life. And he has support with me and my girlfriend.
Okay. All right, thank you.
I have a question. Sir, Mr.
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes,
do you have any children?
yes, I have 2 daughters,
Okay, how old are they?
15 and 10.
Okay. Knowing what you know,
Mhm.
would you have a problem with your friend living with you?
No, I wouldn't have a problem.
No further questions.
All right, thanks a lot. Okay, if there's nothing else, does anybody want to make a motion in regards to the appeal of Mr. Gretzky to move to, what's the location here, sorry? 1681 Deckner Apartment 9.
Motion to deny.
Okay, is there a second?
I will second that motion.
Okay. Any discussion? I think the only thing that I want to say, sir, is that in my opinion, I think for me, I would be more willing to look at your appeal to live here long-term and start that life over, knowing that you had some sort of sexual offender treatment. I know you're on the waiting list, so to me, it doesn't mean that if you're denied here that you can never come back. But my personal feeling is you know, without the lack of knowledge of what that assessment's gonna say and what your treatment's gonna go through, for me, it's gonna be very difficult. So I just wanna let you know that in terms before we vote. So let me see.
I agree. I wish you would have had that evaluation, that we could have saw that, to, you know, to see what they did say about you. That would be the one thing.
Okay, so we have a motion to deny him to move to 1681 Deckner Avenue. So we're ready to make a vote.
It's a 2-2 vote, so motion to deny fails.
Okay. Just for the board to know, by voting yes on that you agree with denying. If you voted no, that means you agreed
Against it.
against it. So just to make sure everybody know that. So right now, we're at tie, so the motion fails. So we're back in discussion. Does anybody want to share their vote as to why they did what they did, and are they willing to change it or make another motion?
Actually, I did it the opposite.
You did it
I
the
voted
opposite?
no. Yeah,
Okay.
so,
I'm gonna make a motion to deny Mr. Geiser to 1681 Deckner Avenue, apartment number 9 again. Is there a second?
Seconded.
The motion to deny passes on a 3-1 vote.
Okay. Sir, so what your next options are here is, first of all, you can't live within the city of Green Bay. Doesn't mean you can't come back with another location. But in terms of what I told you before, I think the best time to come back to this, if you want to live within the city of Green Bay, is after you completed your SOT training. Okay? All right, thank you. Next appeal is Michael Wiskowski. Okay, Michael, looks like you are living at 7681 in Kaiser Road in Econo Falls. Okay, you want to move to Oregon Street, 1192?
Yes.
All right. Again, we're going to talk about your case and just refer to the person as the victim. Second of all, again, if we want to talk about your treatment programs, you have the right to do it in public or private, which you prefer.
Public's fine.
Public's fine. Okay, great. So it looks like you were convicted of possession of child pornography, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And you basically got your 3-year prison term you served 3 years, then you had 3 years of supervision?
Yeah.
Okay. And when were you released?
18.
July
Last year.
of last year. Okay. So what brings you to Green Bay?
I want to get a better job.
Okay. Where are you currently working right now?
Working on the farm.
Working on your farm? Okay. Do you have a job here yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
See, the farm I work at, it's a difficult situation because I'm living at the farm, and he told me if I go get a different job somewhere, I can't live there, so then I'd be homeless again.
Gotcha. Okay. So tell us, in terms of your crime here, what began your reason that you started looking at child pornography?
I was introduced to porn by my father as a child, and it came into an addiction, and it just escalated. And 4 years ago, I got caught.
How did you get caught?
My ex went on my email and found an email that contained 10 pictures. And then that's when the police made up a report and filed charges.
Okay. And how did you plead to that case?
At first, my lawyer told me to plead not guilty because we didn't have a discovery or any paperwork on the case. But after that, I pled guilty.
Okay. Any more questions relating to his crime that anybody would like to ask? Is that how you see the case too?
Yeah, it was underage photos of a girl, 10 counts.
10 counts? So is that 1 count per picture?
Yes.
Is that how it was done? Okay.
5 were, I was charged with 5 in the end, and then 5 were read in.
Okay.
What were the ages that you were looking at? All ages?
Yeah, around, like 15 up.
Okay.
Under the age of 16.
Under the age of 16. Okay.
Thank you.
So I guess you've gone through SO2 training, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about that training, what you kind of learned from it.
That porn's an addiction, and every time a photo is viewed, that person's victimized. And it's all over the internet, and everybody views it, so they get victimized all the time. Can make relapse prevention plans and all types of other stuff.
So, I mean, so you've been out for a year. Have you viewed any type of pornography since you've been out? Okay. Do you have access to the internet? Okay. Is that part of a condition of your parole?
Yes.
Okay. So you don't own a computer then? Okay.
What is your plan for relapse?
First you talk to your family and everything, be open with everybody, and from there go get help. You relapse or have a problem, or thinking of relapsing. I'm a probation officer, put me in another treatment program, and whatever it takes,
How often do you meet with your parole officer?
every 2 weeks.
Here in Green Bay?
I'm in
In O'Connell? Okay, has Brown County accepted you to move here yet, do you know? In terms of, because did you commit your time in Brown County or O'Connell County?
Brown County.
In Brown County, okay.
I was originally released from prison here. In order for me not to be homeless, I had to be transferred to O'Connell County.
Okay, all right. So at this point of time where you want to live, how you, until you get a job, how you plan to pay for your apartment?
I have a job.
At the farm, right?
Yeah.
So you still plan to then commute from
No.
Green Bay to,
The second that it's approved for me to, the second you guys approve me to live in Green Bay, and I have to tell my probation officer in O'Connell County, he'll transfer the paperwork to Brown County, and the second it's approved, I get a find a job here.
okay.
I thought, by reading that, was a part-time job?
It's a little more than part-time, I work there 6 days a week.
Okay, any other questions for him?
Should be that.
Do you have any job prospects out this way in Green Bay?
Once it gets approved, I'm guaranteed to get a construction job building houses again or siding. Last year, a guy wanted to start me at $15 an hour running the siding crew, but I was at the farm and I ran into that problem. I couldn't just go because I'm homeless again.
And where does your family live?
I got family that lives in Green Bay, Gillett, or O'Connell County, Sandusky, all over.
Do you have contact with them?
My family?
Yeah. Okay. All right, any other questions?
Is the person that you're gonna live with a male or a female?
Family.
And what is your relationship to that person?
Friend.
Is that friend the person that's already on a rental agreement, or does that person own the residence?
Owns a residence.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, does anybody want to speak either for or against Michael? Please come forward.
All of us at one time?
Well, if it's different people, one at a
We've
time.
got 6 people who filled out slips.
Okay, so one at a time then?
Fine, can you go? I'll stay.
Ma'am, I just need your name and your address, and then just let you know you're limited to about 3 minutes.
Okay, Gail Colvin,
Okay,
362 Bomir Lane, Sandusky.
go ahead.
Michael is my great nephew, and he's made mistakes, and he's admitted to them. And he's a good guy, and he's a hard worker. He does a lot of maintenance work, and he does a lot of landscaping and yard work. And I had him do work for me, and he's compulsive about getting the job done right. He's very reliable, and I think that Michael has learned a lot through this whole process. I've seen him start to come out of his shell and to blossom as an individual, and I think that given the circumstances of what has transpired and what he's gone through, he's done nothing but learn from this process. And I don't see any problem with Michael living anywhere. He's a good young man, and he is growing into who he is. So
Okay.
that's about as much as I can say for him.
All right, thank you. Next person, if anybody else wants to say anything? Can I just need your name and address, please?
Noelle DeBush, 321 North Miss Kennedy Street in Gillette. I'm Michael's mother. Again, I will vouch that he has learned his lesson. I'm not going to be emotional. He won't do anything for anybody.
Why do you think he did what he did?
Because my ex-husband,
Okay. And do you think he's got enough through his
you'll be
training
the
that he's
first
had?
person there to help you. Whether you're family, a neighbor, a friend,
Mhm.
he'd take off the shirt on his back to help anybody.
If you, could you tell us, this is one of my concerns. So far, we have family that lives in Gillette and Sabisky.
And
Who's
Green
go-
Bay.
Okay, but we haven't heard
Yeah.
that. Who's gonna be there for him when he needs somebody?
I am there 24/7.
But do you understand there's the geographical issue?
Right. I'm only a 40-minute drive away. He knows where I live. If he needs help, I'm there. And he knows that. He's hardworking. He is a man of his word. I couldn't be more proud of him. He grew up in a bad situation.
Okay. Is there anything else? I understand that you're emotional, but,
Yes.
okay, thank you. Is there anybody else? Sir, come on up.
Glenn Coleman, I'm his grandfather.
Okay, address, sir?
1351 Hannah Street,
Okay, go ahead.
And where is that city?
Green Bay?
Bay.
Okay,
And it'll be 3 blocks from where he's moving. So, I can see the change in him from childhood to now. You know, before he went in and since he got out. He's changed 100%. I've had him at my house helping me out, and he's just a totally different person.
does he have,
Really good.
does he have, you know, what you'd consider normal relationships with other people his own age and that, or is he just more kind of sticks to himself?
He's more outgoing now. He, like my sister said, he used to be in a shell. I mean, he'd look down, he wouldn't look you in the eye. Now, he looks you in the eye, he talks to you, and, you know, he's outgoing now.
Okay. All right, anything else?
No, it's just 100% better.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else? Come on up, Pam. Hi, your name and address, please?
Deborah Hickey, 612 North Locust Street,
You're in Green Bay?
here in Green Bay, yes.
Okay, go ahead.
We're 0.8 of a mile away from 1192. I've known Mike since last October. I think he is one of the smartest people I've ever met. I could just eyeball it when I met him. I didn't know him from anybody else. And I took him in kind of as my third child. And he spent a lot of time in our house. There's nothing I've seen that he can't do. He was quiet when he first came, but then the more we got to know him, the more he opened up, and he's really been a delightful person. We've shared holidays with him, and actually, the 1192 Oregon Street is my daughter's house.
Okay.
So,
So is that how you got to know him, through your daughter?
no,
Okay, so tell me how did he interact with you in terms of that first time?
help putting a roof on our house, and there's nothing he can't do. Nothing he can't do. I call him Mighty Mike. He's handy, he's giving, he's caring, he's just, I've never seen anybody work so hard in my life. Because he'll work at the farm and would come over and help to work on our roof at, until whatever time it was, so. And I'm proud to know him. I understand that, I've seen a lot of kids go through a lot of things, or young adults grow up and do things that they really wish they wouldn't have done, and totally understand, you know, he's explained it to us, and totally believe in him 125%.
Okay, thank you. All right, anybody else? Right? Just your name and address, please.
Courtney Hickey.
Okay,
My address is 1192 Warren Street.
okay, go ahead.
I am Mike's girlfriend, as I've known him since about November, but I've known of him since October. My mom always talked about him. I moved to Green Bay to my house from Manitowoc, and I hadn't even met Mike yet, but he was already fixing things on my house and stuff for my parents because they owned it before me. And he helped my dad move all my stuff from Manitowoc up here, and still had never met me, and like they weren't even paying him for it or anything. And then one day I finally got to meet the guy, and after just spending time with him a couple times with my parents, we kind of just meshed together right away, and I have an amazing connection with Mike, and I know a lot of people probably don't get to see the side of him that I do, but he's really sweet and kind and loving and respectful of me, and we would like to, you know, live together and go forward with our relationship.
Okay, thank you.
I have a quick
Go ahead.
question. If Mike was denied today his ability to move, and say he's able to find a job within the next couple weeks, months, was he still available? Can he still move back in with you at your home?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right, does anybody have any more discussion with him, or does, sir, would you like to say anything before we ask for a motion? Okay.
I will
Go
tell you,
ahead.
my concern is that you don't have a job lined up yet. I understand that the moment you get a job where you're living right now on that farm, he will evict you basically. But a lot of places, when you get a job, they'll give you a prospective or a date out in the future for a start date. That would give you time, or some people tend to be a little bit more flexible in letting you work out your situation, moving and all that. So my concern is that you don't have a job right now.
Okay, you guys do these appeals every month?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's no job gonna guarantee me a job a month out. They're looking for an employee to work now, not a month from now. That position needs to be filled. And if I would go get a job lined up, they're gonna want me there in 2 weeks. That doesn't give me enough time to come and see the board. And then I'd be homeless for 2 weeks before I'd see the board again.
Would you be homeless, or would you have the opportunity to maybe live with your grandparents, your mother?
You can't do that. The ordinance doesn't allow for it. Ordinance doesn't allow for it.
Mom doesn't live in.
Oh, yeah, she lives in Gillette, right, you can live in Gillette, right? Mhm.
But probation won't let me live with her
Okay,
because they have a gun safe.
okay. What about the other relatives that you have that are here that are not in Green Bay?
So it seems the same thing. And the second I'm homeless, I'm out on GPS bracelet, I don't know where to go. And I'll be out of everything until I come see the board again.
Okay.
That's why it makes it it's complicated.
And you're still not guaranteed to come back into Brown County, you still have to be accepted by Brown County, right?
Yes, but in order for that to happen, it's gotta be approved through you guys first.
Okay, all right, okay.
When you say Brown County, do you mean probation, parole, or, okay?
Yeah, they have to approve the transfer from Oconto County back to Brown County, which, that's no guarantee,
Right.
so. Okay, does anybody want to make a motion?
I would make a motion to approve for a period of 60 days and then have him back to show whether or not, or 30 days, I'm sorry, 30 days, come back and then tell us whether or not Brown County's accepted him and he has a job.
Well, I think that from the standpoint of, is that you wouldn't be able to move if Brown County didn't approve him. I think if you're.
I don't know when they meet.
Yeah, I don't know when they meet either, so, or how often, when he submits paperwork, how long it even takes, to be honest with you, I have no clue.
Right, but what I'm getting at is, I don't feel comfortable going out beyond 30 days, simply because even if Brown County approves him, does he have a job?
Right, I'm with you, I'm with you. Hey, we actually gotta follow through on the motion, so we have a motion to approve him for a period of 30 days, in which time he'd have to come back and let us know if he's been approved to move into Brown County, as well as see if he's got a job. That's the motion. Is there a second to the motion?
Not for me.
Not for me.
Motion fails. Okay, is there another motion?
I'll make a motion to approve to approve him to live at 1192 Oregon Street for a period of 90 days, because I think it takes a little time to get these things done and for a job, so he doesn't have to float out of there right away. And of course, upon the approval of Oconto, letting him live here. And then he can come back to see us in 90 days.
Okay, I want to kind of repeat this so we can make sure we got it. So you're approving him, address specific, to move to 1192 Oregon Street for a period of 90 days, at which time he has to come back and prove that he's got approval from Oconto County, or Brown County, to live in Green Bay, as well as have a job.
Correct.
Okay, is there a second to that motion?
I will second that motion.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, let's go ahead and vote on that motion.
Yeah, you should have it. Vote passes 3-1.
Okay, sir, so what you've been approved for, okay, is that you can go ahead and, obviously you can't move until you get Brown County accepts you. But then for a period of 90 days in which you have to come back to this board and then show proof of employment within Green Bay or wherever you have a job, okay? If you do not show up, you'll automatically be denied, and then they'll come knocking at your door and ask you to leave, okay? Now, where would you like this approval sent? You can send it to your current address, or we can send it to the Oregon Street. Have it sent to 1192 Oregon Street. Okay,
Okay, one more quick question.
sure.
Okay, now, if I can't get a job in Brown County right away, because I know when I was first released, I had a very hard time finding like factory jobs, this and that.
Mm-hmm.
And I applied everywhere, and just because you're a sex offender, they wouldn't hire you. But no matter what, I will have a job, but it has to be in Green Bay.
No.
No,
I
just a
think
job.
we want to make sure you have a job, so you're not just sitting doing nothing.
Well, no matter what, I'll have a job at the farm.
Well, if you have a job there and you're commuting back and forth, okay, but, the whole point of you wanting to come here is to get a job here, so, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right. Next up is the appeal of Hector Sanchez. Okay, Mr. Sanchez, we're here to hear your appeal to move to 11-8 North Roosevelt Street Upper, correct?
118. 118.
118. 118 North Hector Street. And you're currently living at the TLP?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, again, we're gonna go over your case. Again, just refer to the person as the victim, not by their name or if you were related to them or anything like that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what happened in your conviction?
He's a returning applicant.
Yes.
This was 30 years ago, but
But just from a standpoint of, I don't know if the last time he was here, I think was a while ago, not everybody.
I lived in Howard and I moved to Eastman Avenue.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just involved with a 15-year-old girl apparently that I followed her and I was doing the issue of that. So I got arrested for that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's gonna shut it. Go ahead.
Apparently I got arrested for following a girl that was under 15 years, she was 15 years of age, turning 16. So I got arrested for that, and that was the issue, that was it. So they gave me 10 years, I served 7 out of that, and I finished my time in Arizona back in 1982.
Okay.
So this is like, I got out in 1999. So this is like 30 years ago almost. I moved to Wisconsin in 2001, 2002 or 1. I went to work for Pumps Tires for 9 years. And I ended up meeting my girlfriend, Holly. I moved with her to Howard, and from Howard I went to, when I met you guys, to go to Eastman Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
And now she passed away on me, and I was incarcerated for my 5th DUI. So now I'm out.
Was that due to what happened to Holly? I know it's a tragic
Well,
accident.
according to what happened, it was in January the 12th, apparently. She must have had an accident during the night or somewhere down the line. I was incarcerated for my 5th DUI.
Okay.
So what I got is that she had an accident, and apparently during that night it was cold, so she kind of like most people froze to death, you know. So now I may stop. So now I was gonna parole out to that place, Eastman Avenue. But since now that she's gone, this is her daughter, her son-in-law, and my
sister-in-law.
her sister-in-law, and that's my girlfriend's daughter. Okay.
Okay.
So anyway, now I couldn't parole out where I was going because she passed away. So now I'm in a position where my PO put me at
TL.
70, yes,
Yep.
ma'am. So now I'm working at American Foods. I've been there for 3 months now, full-time
Full-time?
already as it is. I've always worked ever since I've been in Wisconsin, thanks to God. Now I'm in this position, so now she's got a place for me, like I just told you guys. And here's my family that I got. All my family's all in Arizona. I don't have nobody here, just myself. But I did have somebody who was special. She's gone.
Okay.
That's it.
Any other questions for Mr. Sanchez?
I have a question. So what made you go off the wagon?
I think, be honest with you, for my 5th, you talking about my 5th DUI?
Mm-hmm.
I think I just lost it. I think somewhere down the line, I kind of like thought I was just Hector, you know, but it didn't work that way. I put myself in a very bad position, and I'm willing to put it back to where I was supposed to be. And I've done pretty good so far as I know of now. I'm by myself. I don't have nobody to guide me and all that. And I've been doing it by myself pretty good, but, you know, I can consider them my family because they've been there for me the majority of times now and before, after, you know, so. I'm doing pretty good. My PO hasn't given me any problems.
How often do you meet with your PO?
Huh?
How often do you meet with your PO?
Every week, every Monday.
How often are you tested for alcohol?
She hasn't done that.
She's not tested you since you've been released?
She haven't tested me, so I guess I'm fine. I haven't had anything to do with the alcohol that I could think of.
Okay.
Just
Are
for,
you-
oh, I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
for clarification purposes, you had another OWI after the 5th one. You had a total of 6, correct?
No, they're considering, like I had 2 in New Mexico before I came to Wisconsin, okay?
No, I'm sorry, since the passing of Holly, you had,
No.
what, let me finish. You were in custody at the time Holly passed. That was your 5th OWI, correct? After that, you had another one, correct? No?
No.
Okay.
No, but what happened is that I had 2 in New Mexico, 2001, those 2 DUIs I had in New Mexico. When I got my first one and my second one and my third one here, they brought those 2 over here and they made it my 5th.
Mhm.
That's all it was. So I should have 3 here in Wisconsin, actually,
Actually, no.
but they don't work that way.
No, they don't.
Correct, I know, I found that out.
Now, are you in any programs, AA, anything like that?
Yeah, so I'm fixing to start going as soon as I take care of this matter with you all guys. But other than that, my PO knows that I'm riding a bike, I'm not driving any vehicles whatsoever, and I've been traveling with bike for 3 months to my job, 3 in the morning to whatever, 4 miles every day, morning and afternoon. So now I'm trying to get closer if I get this place. It'll be 5-minute drive with my bike then.
Mhm.
Okay. Any more questions for him? Anybody want to speak on his behalf or against? Come on up, ma'am, I just need your name and address, please.
Sarah Nazi, and my address is 703 Northern Avenue. I'd written a letter, so
Sure,
I'm
go
just
ahead.
gonna read it to you guys.
Go ahead.
I said I'm here to attest to the character of Hector Sanchez and to appeal for him to be allowed to live at 118 North Roosevelt Street. I've known him for roughly 14 years. He dated my mother from 2004 until the time of her death in 2018 in January. I also lived with him from 2004 until 2009. We both at that time lived with my mom at her house in Howard on Melody Drive. During that time, I had no issues with Hector being inappropriate with me in any way. Furthermore, the apartment that he wishes to rent on Roosevelt Street is owned by my sister-in-law, Tracy Vandenhoven. I wouldn't petition for him to be allowed to live in the same dwelling as my family members if I believed he would do them any harm. He's been nothing but kind to me and my mom and my sister and my husband and my in-laws since we've known him. His indiscretions are in the past, and I firmly believe that he poses no harm to anyone. Like he said, he hasn't been driving. He's been taking his bike. This apartment that my sister-in-law owns will get him closer to work, so when the weather gets nasty, it won't be as rough a commute for him.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
There was a letter
Oh,
turned
that's
in
me.
for Tracy.
Yep, that's me.
Okay.
Just wanted to look and see.
Ma'am, just your name and address again?
I'm Tracy Vandenhaven, 118 North Roosevelt Street, so I live in the lower.
Sure, go ahead.
I've known Hector for around 11 years. He has been a wonderful person to our family. He's been very helpful. And I think he'd be a good asset to be at my house. He came over a couple weeks ago and cut my lawn and helped with landscaping, and I've never ever had any issues with him. He's a very kind person, and I think he deserves a chance to be close to his work and be in a good environment.
Okay, thank you. All right, anybody else? Okay, does anybody want to make a motion in regards to Mr. Sanchez?
I'm gonna make a motion to approve Mr. Sanchez to 118 North Roosevelt Street, address specific.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? All right, ask for a vote.
You guys, who's that?
Vote passes, 3 yeas and 1 abstention.
Okay, sir, you've been approved to move to the location that you had requested at 118 North Roosevelt Street. Where would you like that sent?
To that address.
That address? Okay. That's it, you're done.
Thank you.
Next appeal is Mr. Kevin DeVillers. All right, Mr. DeVillers, you are looking to move to 1913 Eastman Avenue, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. And you're currently living at 1646 Cormier?
Correct.
Okay, here, just check something real quick. This is why it's not going like this. Sir, the last time we had you here, back in '09, was to approve, at that time we'd approve anybody that went to the TLP at 1761 Shawano Avenue.
Correct.
So my question is you're living at Cormier right now, which is in Green Bay, and we don't have you coming in front of the board to...
That's
It's
A Schwab on it? Okay, all right, good. Okay, so why are you looking to move?
Been living with my mother. She's now retired. She's looking to move in with her other children so she can save up more money, go on more trips. So she's tired. I lost my dad 2 years ago. So now it's time for her to branch out and do what she wants to do.
Okay.
Landlord was going to let us stay there, but he decided to rent it to his daughter. So we have until September 1st to get a place to live.
Okay. Are you currently employed, sir?
Yes.
Where are you employed at?
Ace Manufacturing Incorporated.
Okay.
When you say,
Hampton Road.
I'm sorry, when you say we, are you talking your best friend and best friend's wife? Who's the we? We were gonna stay there, you said.
Oh, my other sister is
Oh, okay.
moving as well,
Okay,
but she doesn't have
Oh,
to go through none of this.
got it, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Is there, no, obviously you came back when several of you were not here on the board. Did anybody want to discuss this case in particular?
I would like
Perhaps
to
more
discuss the two recent, you had the underlying convictions. The felony, I guess they were just two misdemeanors in 2005 and 2004. They were convictions?
Those are all the same.
Right. Now, what about the two more recent convictions, one in 2017 and 2013?
Both of those are prostitution convictions. I was just in a bad spot. Mentally, physically, I just couldn't handle it, so I thought of a way to get attention, seek attention. The most recent one, 2017, I was with my girlfriend for 3 years. I found out she had another man, and it all happened the same day as I just lost it. And I knew that Brown County was doing these things. I knew if I contacted the prostitute, I would get locked up. It was a way for me to self-sabotage myself. So I spent 4 days in jail on that, and my PO came to see me. She got down to underlying issues, got the ATR. I went to the sex...
What ATR?
Alternative to revocation.
Okay.
She did not think putting me back in prison was the right option for me. She said, we need to get you the treatment that you need and address the issues that you have. So I then went to the sex offender Thinking for Change, and I completed that successfully. I handed in a copy of
Yep, we have it.
that. And I also have, I'm still in aftercare voluntarily. I choose to go for more support, getting to know myself better, my triggers, my relapse prevention, getting the skills and tools that I need to stay out of trouble.
So I guess a question that's running through my mind when you said, hey, you know, you had a breakdown and you self-sabotaged yourself into getting arrested, and obviously you've gone through Thinking for Change, and you're going through additional treatment through Added Correctional Services. So what's to, if you have another issue where a girlfriend, you know, breaks up with you or whatever it may be, what happens if you go to reoffend with you know, a youth, someone under the age of 15 because you're acting out and looking for attention? What's gonna prevent you from doing that?
That would never happen again. I mean, I was 17 when both my crimes happened. I didn't know any better. It was a Romeo and Juliet thing,
Yep.
and I know that underage is wrong. You know, you have to be 18 to consent. Doesn't matter if I'm consenting, she's consenting. If she's not over the age of 18, she can't give consent.
But again, my question was, you know, you acted out and you tried to, you know, engage in prostitution. So my question is, okay, prostitution's one thing, is another thing, you know, sexually, you know, hurting someone
No.
under the age?
I mean, going through the Thinking for Change and being in the aftercare, it's really taken me out of my comfort zone and put me into a different comfort zone where I know that I'm not a burden to my family. I know I can speak to them openly honest. I can be open and honest with my PO, Barbara, who knows everything. You know, I don't hide anything from her, as long with Rebecca and group. Being open and honest, transparent, making sure if I have an issue, it's on the table. If I'm feeling down that day, I talk to somebody. You know, April's a hard month for me because that's when we lost our dad. And it's keeping myself close to my support group, keeping myself close in group. I text Barbara, I call Barbara whenever I need something.
Mm-hmm.
And she's always there for me. And that's the main thing that everybody is driven into my head is no matter how much of a burden you think you are to us, you're not.
Okay.
My other, if I may follow up on that, you also have another prostitution conviction from 2013 down in Outagamie County.
Correct.
What led to that?
Same thing, bottling up all my emotions, not being transparent, open, honest, hiding everything, not sharing my feelings.
Now, was this a sting operation as well?
Yes.
Do you understand that doesn't always end up being a sting operation and you could be with somebody that is an actual child?
Yes. And I know that now.
Okay. Go ahead.
This living arrangement that would like to enter into, these people are friends?
Yes, I've known them since I was, 8, 9.
Have you ever lived together before?
No.
And is this a couple?
No, it's my best friend and his mom.
Okay. You've never lived with them before, and according to the document that was submitted by the owner of the property, he refuses to put you on the lease or agree to that, correct?
Right, he doesn't want to do any more lease agreements. He's fine with me living there. He just does not want to redo the lease.
Okay. What happens, again, this is kind of a not very stable situation. You've been in a stable situation for quite a while. Now you're going into very unstable because you're at their whim. If you do something wrong and the mom is unhappy, she can kick you out at any point in time.
Correct, and it's another way of, you know, they've been there for me through thick and thin, and I know if I mess up, then I'm gonna be homeless.
Did you try to find an apartment on your own?
I did, but with the time frame that I have, there's no way I'd come up with first month's rent, security deposit.
Do you want this to be short-term or do you want it to be long-term?
It would be long-term until I can get my own place. I just don't know how long that's gonna be.
Right, but your goal is to get your own place?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, when I looked this address up, there is a sex offender already living at that address.
That's Dennis, correct.
So how many apartments are there in this building? Is it?
It's one big house. It's one house. Dennis is her son.
Your best friend?
No, I've known him for the same amount of time.
Okay.
So now you, So it's, because when you write down who you plan to live with, you wrote 35 best friend, 33 best friend's wife. But really it's, you're not in your own separate, you three are not in your own separate apartment. It's,
It's a house, but the basement would just be mine. I would have my own living space in the basement.
Is there anybody here to speak on your behalf?
Yes.
May, why don't you come on up? Or, yeah, I just need your name and address, please.
1913 East Avenue.
Your name?
Christine Papa.
Go ahead.
Did you fill out a slip?
Excuse me?
Did you fill out a slip to speak? Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I've known Kevin since he was 7, 8, somewhere around in there. No problem with him. He comes over all the time. I have no problem with him over at our house. The house is big. It's a big house. And that's why I can be at home and they can be upstairs and I won't see him for the whole evening. You know, so it's not like we were all running into each other and whatever, you know. It's me, my youngest son, and my oldest son to start out with. When my husband died, my kids moved back in. I should say we all kind of moved together. And that's where we've been. But Kevin's come over, he's there a lot, and there's no problem whatsoever with him, no.
Okay. All right, thank you for your time. All right, is there anybody else?
David Potto, 1913 Eastern Avenue. Yeah, I've known Kevin pretty much my whole life. My girlfriend's aware of what his crimes are, the works. I mean, there's at one point nobody not home. There's always somebody there. So yeah, I mean, we'll never just randomly be stuck in the same room all day. I mean, you know, we're always running around doing stuff. So it's not like he can't just go into all over the place. He can't. Yeah, like I said, I've had no problem.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yep.
All right, if there's nothing else anybody wants to ask him, does anybody want to make a motion?
I'm gonna make a motion. I'm torn, because there's already a sex offender living there, that just, you know,
Right, and my probation officer and the supervisor are well aware of that. He's completed his treatment, he's completed his probation. He had pretty much the same situation I had. He's a little bit older, but he got his before I got mine. He was with a girl, got her pregnant, they now have 2 children together. So it's not like he's an untreated, unsuccessful sex offender. And my PO and the supervisor are well aware of it. They've already approved it. We're just waiting on the board to approve it so I can move.
okay, I'm gonna make a motion to approve you for 1913 Eastman Avenue, address Pacific, for $120 days, 4 months, just to see how things are going.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right, any discussion? All right, let's vote.
Motion passes on a 3-1 vote.
Okay, sir, would you like that sent to 1913 Eastman Street?
Yes.
Okay, you will have to appear in front of us again in 120 days and let us know how things are going.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, Mr. Ronald Tyber. Mr. Tyber, you're living at 321 South Washington Street right now?
It's a hotel.
It's a hotel? What hotel is that?
It's a Quality Inn.
Okay,
I moved from hotel to hotel.
okay. And you want to move to 1240 Harvey Street?
Yes.
Okay. Again, we're gonna go over your offense and just refer to the person as the victim. Second of all, if we want to talk about your treatment programs, you can do that either in public or private.
Public not.
All right, go ahead.
What would you like to know?
So I want to know what happened. So you had child enticement, you know, so tell
I
me what
was
what's
here,
going
here,
on.
I was here on business. I was having a bunch of home issues. So I posted an ad on Craigslist and was involved in the police station.
Okay. Did you know at the time you were going to meet that person that they were under the age of 16?
During the course of our exchange, they had brought it up. Yes.
Okay.
I
So you
didn't say
weren't-
no.
I'm sorry, you weren't living in Green Bay, you said you were here on business?
Yes.
Okay.
Where are you from?
Originally New Jersey. At the time of this incident, I was actually living in North Carolina.
Okay. So you knew that the victim was under the age of 16, and you still went anyway to have sex with that person, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And it looks like you got probation for this offense, is that correct?
Yes.
All right.
Is that?
The news was cat.
I'm sorry?
It was texting.
Okay.
Yep. So obviously you have to stay in Green Bay now for the 4 years probation, correct, or within Brown County?
Yeah, 3 years left.
Okay.
Today's the first year done.
Okay. And you've been moving from hotel to hotel for a year?
Pretty much, with my car in between.
Okay. And where are you currently employed, sir?
I'm not currently employed. My family pays my rent.
Okay.
I was employed at the time. During the trial, I was employed, but due to the conviction of a felony, the company I was working for had to let me go. Actually, they put me in a 5-year suspension. So I collected unemployment for a short time, and now I've just been looking for work. But this home would allow my family to save money, because hotels are very expensive. So this would allow us to save a lot of money and give me a permanent place to work out of and continue to look for work. I did start actually work at American Foods for 2 days, but I was released because of a medical problem.
Okay.
I suffer from bad diabetes, and I had a low blood sugar incident, and I'm working with doctors to control that now.
Okay. So, and right now in Green Bay, you don't have any family? Or anybody?
No, sir, I do not. I tried to get to South Carolina, North Carolina, and New Jersey, and none would take me at this point. So I'm here.
Okay.
I do have support. I have my mother, brother, and aunt who are all supporting me financially and emotionally. I also have Rebecca, the counselor, and Nikki, my probation officer, and I belong to circles of support who are very, very good group of people.
Okay, are you in any treatment programs at
I
the
have
time?
completed my program.
You did?
I did submit a
Yep, I see it.
certificate there.
Tell me what you learned from the program.
A lot, actually. I learned a lot during the time between my arrest and my sentencing. I went through psychological treatment with 2 different people and found out I was suffering from PTSD from a traumatic experience in my past, and made Rebecca aware of that, and she helped me deal with those things and teach me some coping mechanisms. Taught me how to be more able to cope with those kind of things.
Okay. right, does anybody have any more questions for him?
I'm just trying to find it, I have notes that you were to do community service.
Yeah, I'm working on that. I've not done that yet.
You've not.
Yes, I actually was scheduled for Paul's Pantry, but then the sugar issue stopped me from doing the work. Right now I'm working, I spoke with the people at Humana, and I'm waiting for her to call me back to schedule times. So I am actively pursuing that.
Okay. Any other questions for him? All right. Sir, would you like to say anything to us before I ask for a motion?
Is there anyone here to speak?
Yeah, I have some friends
Sure.
here to speak for me.
Okay. All right, who'd like to speak? Sir, just come on up, give me your name and address.
Eric Iovnik, 2766 Viking Drive, apartment 1C.
Okay, go ahead.
So Ron has been coming to group for about 4 months now. I believe, has only missed one meeting in that time. He has been very open with us about, the issues that he deals with, and we've worked hard to help him with those. He's been very forward, very diligent on his work, and also not only does he come in and do that, which is what we ask, is that you come in and share your issues with us, and we try and find solutions to them. He's been willing to help out our other participants in terms of rides to appointments or to interviews and stuff. So we really appreciate having him there, and he's been a pleasure to work with.
I mean, do you see any reason why he would reoffend,
No.
in your opinion? Do you see that he understands why he did what he did?
Yes.
What did he tell you?
Well, it was just, it was the one mistake. It was just, a stupid thing. One, on business, and, it's a mistake he made, and, he learns from it. He went through all the training and stuff, and he understands, how big a mistake that is, and, how he wouldn't ever put himself in that situation again to risk so much.
Did he say that he's ever tried to solicit prostitution or underage sex before?
No.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Any other questions for him? All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Anybody else like to speak for him? Sir, why don't you come on up?
Name is Roy D. Ryder, address 1079 Butternut Lane, Oneida.
Okay.
Since I've known Ron, he's a quality person. He attends the meetings. He goes, I feel, above and beyond as far as what our requirements as a participant is. He's not employed, but he's having application after application. He's 700 or something.
700, over 700.
He's very qualified in his position, but his offense is kind of like his stumbling block to getting a position. A lot of people like him, and that's just what that's what he's saying, but I believe him. So.
All right. Any questions? Sir, what is your main profession?
I'm an IT business analyst and an IT project manager.
Okay. And I'm assuming that during your probation period, you're not allowed to use a computer, correct?
I am allowed to use a computer.
You are allowed to use a
Yes, the
computer?
judge wrote it into my paperwork.
Okay. All right, is there anybody else like to speak? All right.
Can I just make
Go
one
ahead.
comment?
Sure.
About reoffending, I have lost so much due to this. My wife, my son, my house, my career. I could not stand to lose that kind of thing again. And that's why I'm trying to work back into this. I want to finish my next 3 years and try to get back to my son and reestablish my life with him. So I can't afford to screw up. My son just turned 11 last month. I'm not going to be able to see him until he turns 14. I can't wait. I need to keep going on the straight and narrow. I can't afford to play with that.
Are you able to speak to him over the phone?
When he wants to and when his mother will let me.
Okay.
Is that why you cannot see him right now?
He's in North Carolina.
Can't we stay?
So, but he could come here.
Yeah.
If his mother, based on my offense, mom's not gonna do that very readily.
Okay. All right, does anybody want to make a motion? I'm gonna make a motion to approve Mr. Tybor address specific to 1240 Harvey Street.
Lower.
Lower. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion?
My only thing is that we do have somebody else wanting to move on Harvey Street also coming up. But when I did drive by, there is like a community police just right down the corner, just in case you wanted to know.
4 houses away.
Yeah, just off
Okay.
the kitty corner.
All right. Okay, ready for a vote?
Just waiting on one more vote, Kathy.
Pound it, pound it. No. There.
Okay, vote passes, or motion passes unanimously.
Okay, sir, you have been approved to move to 1240 Harvey Street, lower. Would you like it sent there?
Yes, please.
All right, we'll send it there. Good luck to you.
Thank you all very much.
Next appeal is Mr. James Randall.
I'm getting there.
No problem.
I'm still getting used to the electric wheelchair.
Somebody, you want to grab one of the chairs? All right, Mr. Randall. Just gonna get your file up here. Currently at the TLP?
Yes,
All right, and looking to move to 1176 Harvey Street, number 2, right?
that's correct.
Okay. Okay, let me check.
This is actually the first apartment I've been able to find to rent, thanks to New Cap for 3 years. I've been homeless.
Okay. Sorry, this is taking so long to
It's all right.
load. Go back to my notes here. Okay. So we're gonna go over your offenses, and I'd like you to, again, just refer to the person as the victim and tell us what happened in each particular instance. So why don't you tell us about the first offense you listed here on, with a 5-year-old, and back in 2005?
Yeah, that's when right after I ended up in a wheelchair. I'd slipped back to drinking, some marijuana use. I went from being a man who did everything, motocross, skydiving, cliff diving, all that, to someone who felt like I was absolutely worthless. I went from being completely independent to having to depend on everybody for everything. I ended up staying with some friends that I met at the hospital, and they set me up to babysit for the woman to increase my income so I could pay for the little things. I also babysat for them to pay for my staying there.
So what did you do to the victim? What did you do to the victim?
According to the conviction, I put my mouth over her underwear.
You said that's according to the conviction. What did you actually do?
it's complicated because there was more to it than that.
Well, we're here to listen.
Yeah.
All right. As I was saying, I was babysitting for them. I grew to love the kids, and I fell in love with the mother. We got intimate, which has been my biggest problem. Quick intimacy, fast relationships, always bad relationships. Asked her to marry me. She said no because I was crippled and broke. She had 4 kids to take care of. She didn't want to take care of crippled. So I separated myself from her. I didn't babysit as often. Ended up with another woman. She confronted me and told me that that was unacceptable. I couldn't be with another woman and watch her kids. And when I told her that she no longer had the right to say anything because she'd already turned me down, she said I'd regret it. Week before my wedding, police knocked at the door, informed me that I had been accused of sexually assaulting her daughter.
Okay, and did you?
No.
Okay.
4 kids stayed with me that night. All 4 were kids. Oldest was 13, 2 girls and a son.
Okay.
The first to make the accused was the 5-year-old. A year later, the 13-year-old did. Well, the officers proved the 13 was lying. It was just basically me doing something I've done my whole life, which is fall fast into bad relationships without thinking.
What about the other 2 convictions for sexual assault on children?
The first one was a misdemeanor.
Okay.
Unfortunately for that one, I can be blatantly honest, I was too drunk and stoned to know anything. I was 19, she was 16. I had just been married, had a brand new kid. I was finishing 3 bottles of liquor before lunch and at least 5 joints. My life back then was absolutely stupid. I've been on my own since I was 15. No guidance, no help.
Okay, but what I want to get to is the victims.
Right.
Okay?
I'm
not-
saying that.
This is not about what I'm asking you. What I'm asking is what was done to the victims.
That was, I guess, they call it a Romeo Juliet type thing. I was married, but I was trying to date this girl.
Okay.
Like I said, I was 19, she was 16. I didn't see the age difference as a problem.
Okay, how about in 2001, the 11-year-old?
2001 was 100% my fault. I let something go beyond what it was supposed to go. As an adult, I should have said no.
How old were you at the time?
2001, that would make me what? Yeah, something like that.
33?
Again, I was in a bad relationship. I married her in hopes of making the relationship better. And I didn't realize that her son had already been messed with by his original father. And I was drinking still, doing some drugs. And when it happened, I didn't stop it. And then when we got divorced was when I filed for divorce was when she made the claim.
Okay, just following up on these convictions. The one in the 1980s is do you have that as the victim being?
You know, the one I have is the 07 one. That's the one that was the Green Bay one.
Okay.
It doesn't, I mean, there's quite a bit of detail in it. It doesn't match with what I'm hearing here. It's touching all over the body of the underage girls.
Okay, all right.
If I may ask, was there any independent corroboration?
No, just the the disclosure to child protection and the interviews at the Child Advocacy Center.
Was that to a plea, or was that a jury trial?
Plea.
Check.
They came,
He's-
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it looks like, yep, there was a plea.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So what are you doing right now? I mean, are you completely disabled, or you not have a job, or what are you doing now?
I can't work anymore.
Okay.
I'm 100% disability and Social Security. Right now I'm working on getting self-employed as a nature photographer, which has been approved by my probation officer. I've completed, I don't have all the paperwork. This was kind of rushed on me, or I'd have people to come forth. I completed cognitive thinking, I believe it's called, through the attic, and I am halfway through SOT. I'm living,
Can I'm sorry to interrupt, but you just said you were rushed into this?
they found a place for me to live, but it's condemned right now. The landlord has to completely redo it and then get it uncondemned, and then he can rent it. They're worried, because I'm going through New Cap for the place, they're worried that if we wait to him to get it completed, that he'll rent it before I can get in. And since this is the first place they found for me to be able to rent in 3 years, because my health is now far worse than it was, etc., they wanted to get me before the board with a provisional approval, and then once the place is complete and I've got the letter from him saying I can rent and the application taken care of, then I come back before the board for the actual approval.
When would you expect this location to be complete? Do you have any idea?
He said we're looking at least 2 to 3 weeks, so around September 1st, September 3rd. But they didn't want to wait until September for me to go before the board, because if he completes it before then he can, he can't wait for me, he's gonna rent it out, and then I'll be, as of September 3rd, out on the street, living in a parking lot, actually. The first 2 years out of prison, I lived in my van after the TOP. My van was hit by a train. I then applied to live with a friend in Bellevue, and it was going to be approved, but a reporter got a hold of the minutes from the meeting. Word got spread, and even though I'd been there for 6 months, provisional, I was forced to move, even though I didn't violate any rules and I didn't break any laws. So I got put back in the TOP. This is the 3rd time they've had me in the TOP because I'm homeless, living on the street. My health is getting worse.
And you said that, I mean, as of right now, you have completed
I completed criminal thinking. I'm halfway through SOT. I didn't get a chance to get that paperwork from Rebecca to bring it in, which is why I'm asking for a provisional until next month, and then I can bring all the paperwork in. I'll have people to back me up, people to speak for me, and I'll have pretty much a better hold on everything. They're just worried that if I'm not approved right now, that he'll rent it out, and this is, like I said, the first place they've been able to find in 3 years. Before this, it wasn't my criminal background that stopped me. I only get $454 a month for disability and SSI because child support takes $320 of it. So I don't have the money to rent normally. I'm also disabled. Those two put together have killed me across the board for renting. It never got to my background. So now this guy knows the background. I'm going through New Cap, so New Cap rents it. I pay New Cap $80.
Gotcha.
So now I can afford to move into a place of my own through New Cap. And I've worked with every agency in Green Bay. I've worked with ADRC, the Micah Center. I've worked with Circles of Support when I first got out, great group. I'm going through treatment right now, and I'll tell you what, I absolutely did not know who I was till I started SOT. My life was, in my mind, most of my young history, that was just normal because that's the way I lived. That's the way my family lived. Out of 14 kids, I'm the only one that's now sober and clean. My dad was abusive, alcoholic, so it's what I grew up with. So I thought that was normal.
Okay. All right, does anybody have any more questions for him?
Yes,
Go
I
ahead.
do. Where do your support people live?
Andrew Seidel lives in Bellevue. Billy lives right here in Green Bay. She's my caseworker for New Cap. My brother and mom just live up in Marinette County, so it's not that far away. They usually come up, see me on the weekends. I can always call and text them. And then, believe it or not, my biggest supporter and greatest help is my PO. My first PO, we didn't get along. Since I've met Barbara, I've learned more about myself and have made more advances in SOT than before. Because before Barbara, I looked at it as they're on this side of the wall, I'm on this side of the wall. They can't be trusted. All you can do is hate them. And she basically told me, she goes, I'm going to be fair, but I'm going to be by the book. Since I've known her, I've gotten approval to use a regular phone. I've got approval to do my photography. She's working with me to, because I've been isolating myself since the crime. Before I met Barbara, all I wanted to do was find a nice little hut out in the woods and never see humanity again. That was my way of solving the problem. Just absolutely get away from people. And now I realize I don't have to do that. If I got a problem, there's people I can call. But like I said, before I was in the wheelchair, I didn't depend on anybody and I wouldn't have asked help from anybody.
Can I just ask why you needed approval to use a regular phone?
The rules list no internet. My first PO said, okay, all new phones have internet, so you can't have one.
Oh, okay, I'm thinking regular phone, landline, not, okay, got it.
So,
Okay.
Okay. What about, is this the first time you've taken the sex offender treatment programming?
yes, in fact, it's actually the first treatment I've ever had in my life. I quit drinking on my own, I quit drugs on my own, everything. I've basically lived on my own since I was 15. I've never went to any agencies, any psychologies, any help. In fact, from the age of 4 to age of 9, I was in state custody. So that's not criminal state custody, but multiple foster homes, multiple places. This is actually my first time I've ever gotten a place of my own.
Okay. All right, if there's nothing else, does anybody want to make a motion?
Are there any people to speak on your behalf?
Like I said, I just found out about this Monday and I knew absolutely nothing about it. So I didn't get a chance to contact the people that I would have had, which is why I'm asking for a provisional acceptance until next month when I can bring these people forward and they can speak for me. I'll have the paperwork showing what I've completed as well as a statement from Rebecca for how I'm doing in SOT.
I make a motion that we table this until next month. I know I don't feel comfortable without having people to speak on behalf of the applicant. Or any supporting documentation.
Yeah, I think my concern is too, is that I don't have documentation that you completed the one course, the critical thinking course, as well as, you know, what, because we also, if you're involved right now in SOT training, usually we get some sort of letter saying, hey, this is how many sessions you've attended.
Actually, I contacted Rebecca, and she has them, but I don't have a vehicle, so cost time-wise, because I just came from my PO, I didn't have time to go to her and pick them up and then come back and be here on time for the meeting.
Right.
In fact, I just found out from my PO where the meeting was and what time it was. So, I mean, it was, like I said, it was a rush job to keep me from losing the apartment.
Did you actually fill out the application? Or did somebody else fill it out for you?
She filled it out with me across from me.
Rebecca?
But you signed it, correct?
I don't have a pen, or I would have. If I can get a pen, I can sign this.
No, I just want to look and see if it has the signature on it. We have it here, was copied. Yeah, that shows the signature. Somebody
Okay.
signed it.
That was mine. They admitted they transferred the first one.
Is that your signature?
Yes, sir. And then my PO and I redid it. This is actually her writing. Mine's not quite so neat.
Okay.
Well, is this your writing on here?
Yeah, that's my writing.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm not as neat as hers is, so.
Looks fine to me. So this was,
I'm Billy from New Cap.
Oh, I didn't even see Billy over there.
Just go ahead and finish your question.
okay. So my concern is that this was dated on July 30th. And we have the same board meeting, or the meeting is the same Wednesday, same week, every month.
But I knew absolutely nothing about the meeting. I knew that I had to come before the board, but I didn't know the actual process or
Your
what
PO didn't
could've-
go over it with you?
I sent
No,
you a
ma'am.
letter. Did you get the letter?
No, ma'am, I never got a
I
letter.
sent it to Shawano Avenue.
I didn't get it.
Mr. Randall.
Yes,
Okay,
I didn't get the letter, otherwise I would
because it
have.
says you were at the JLP, so I.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Okay. Any more questions for him?
No.
Ma'am, if you want to come up and say something, you're more than welcome to.
I just,
Just need your name.
yep, my name is Billy DeCane. I work with New Cap.
Okay.
And the address there is 1540 Capitol Drive.
Okay.
This apartment came up, I've been searching for James for an apartment, which is difficult with the sexual offense and the wheelchair. I talked to the landlord, he said he can't give me the commitment letter, but he does rent to sex offenders. So we discussed this process, and I talked to the, I forgot her name, the lady at the city attorney.
Oh, you're.
Okay, sorry. And I asked her, could we get on today's agenda, because the landlord said he's not gonna hold the apartment for us. If he gets the approval, then we can continue forward with the landlord. Like, so that's kind of the situation.
And I said I could put you on the
Yep.
agenda, but I wasn't sure.
Yep, exactly.
What the board would do with
Yep.
it, so.
So I did meet with James at St. Mary's in the lobby so that he could fill out the application. And
Okay.
then I called him as soon as I got the email confirming that we were on the agenda.
Okay. So here's a couple of issues. The first issue is that we do have a process, and one of them is that the landlord has at least signed knowing that the person they're potentially going to rent to is a sexual offender. So obviously that's not in this application.
Well, he does say it in the email, though. Although I am open to renting to people whom are registered sex offenders, so he would know he is by saying that in the email, right?
Oh.
No, I know that's not saying, but he knows he is. But okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I mean, usually it's, I'm willing to rent to them, period. So anyway, and so the second part of it is that we don't really have a provisional process. It's either you're approved or you're approved for a length term. So there is no, come back and you got provisional approval. We either grant it for a certain amount of time or indefinitely, or we don't grant it. So there's not a provisional process. in place. So I just want to lay that out. So we've heard, all the information, unless anybody has more questions of him. So at this particular point, someone has to make a motion as to, whether they want to allow him to move to this location or not, or any other provisions related to it. So does anybody want to make a motion?
Can I just ask a question first? Yep. I'm just reading through this email and it says, without having a completed application, the landlord has an application and a background check that needs to be
He doesn't have the
done?
full application. I have a release from James, so I gave him his full name and date of birth, that he could do his preliminary. And he said he would have to fill out the complete application and.
The landlord's
The landlord,
application?
correct. But he does know that he's a sex offender and he knows the different counts.
Okay. All right, does anybody want to make a motion?
I move that we table this, I think that was actually.
Yeah, that was your motion.
Yeah, it was my
I'm-
motion, table this till next
So
month.
is there a second to that motion?
I will second that.
Okay. Any discussion? Let's vote on that motion.
So the motion to hold open until next month passes on a 3-1 vote.
Okay. When is our next meeting scheduled? Just was going to grab a calendar here.
September 12th.
September 12th. Okay. So I know this puts it in a tough position, and you may not hold it, but the board is basically, voted to table your motion at this point.
I understand.
So we will put you back on the agenda for the September 12th meeting. Here's the other pieces of information you will need is
Can I borrow a pen? Thank you.
We'll need, again, just for basics, obviously, you're gonna need proof that you completed your one program. You'll need, where you're at in your other program, I think. You're gonna need approval from the landlord.
I believe that Ms. Banks already sent that information, the documentation that you mailed, all the requirements or what he should consider bringing.
Oh, it's on the appeal form.
It is, okay.
And
okay.
I didn't get it, that's why I didn't know
I see
anything
what you're
about it.
saying. Okay.
Do we have something hard to give him or
So are
not?
you staying at the TLP or not staying?
Yes, I'm in number 17 at the TLP.
Because I did send a letter there.
I didn't
So-
get any letter from you,
Okay.
so.
Well.
I've had 3 roommates since the beginning of this
Well,
month, so one of them could have grabbed.
But the application was filled out.
I got the application from
So
Bill.
that tells you what you need, what you should bring.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
Under each section, it says this is the documentation that you're.
Oh, okay.
So again, you'll be added to the agenda for the September 12th meeting. The meeting, again, starts at 2:30. So,
So the big thing is a letter from the landlord saying that he knows you're a registered sex offender and he's willing to rent you.
Right. He told, see, I had met with him Friday, and he told me he couldn't give me the application or letter until the city had cleared the condemned off the building.
yeah.
That made it able for him to rent. That's what he told me,
Well,
so.
That's,
Is it not rented out at all now?
No, the whole building is condemned. He's got to completely redo the whole building before he can rent.
that'll be done within
Before
30
he
days.
can even hold it out, advertise it for.
Right.
Which means
And
it
he
shouldn't
said
have
it'd
been
be-
offered yet at
Right.
all.
He said it'd be around 2 to 3 weeks. He's hoping to have it done by September 1st to 3rd, somewhere in there.
but you still gotta get after that, you still gotta get it looked at by the city.
So in
Right.
other words, we're putting the cart way
Yeah.
before the
Right.
horse.
It could be the middle of September before he actually gets occupancy permit. Okay, so that's where we're at right now, okay?
Thank you very much.
All right, so we'll see you here on the 12th.
All right, thank you very much.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Next is Mr. James Goss. Hey, Mr. Goss, we are here to hear your appeal to move to 1655 West Mason Street, apartment number 4.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And right now you're currently homeless?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna start again with your conviction here. And again, no personal names or anything. Why don't you tell us what happened here? It looks like it was a sting operation.
Yes. I kind of wrote some stuff down.
Go ahead.
That's all right. I responded to an ad on Craigslist about wanting to share the air conditioning with someone. We communicated for a while before she told me she was 15 years old. We continued with contact that led to which led to a sexual conversation. She asked me to meet her at a place, and I stupidly agreed to meet her at the place she decided on. And when I got there, I was arrested. I know now that what I did was wrong and take full responsibilities for my actions. I should have known better to keep in contact with someone that's too young for me. I've never been interested in younger girls or minors in the past, nor am I now. I know this would never happen again because I know better. And lastly, since I last seen you, I have been going to see my agent weekly. And I've been going to my SLT classes weekly on time for 2 months.
Okay, and you're okay with talking about your treatment programs in public?
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yes. I got a job working on a dairy farm, which I love doing. I've learned in class how to be responsible and not in denial of my actions. I have been being responsible by staying away from computers, keeping to myself, staying away from areas where minors may be, like parks, malls, trails, and schools.
Okay. Just from a standpoint, in terms of his conviction, is that correctly stated as a sting operation?
Yes.
Okay, is there questions for him?
My question is, you work in Seymour, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Why are you looking to live in Green Bay? It's quite a distance away from where you work.
I'm fine with the drive. It doesn't bother me at all. I used to live in Green Bay for over 10 years and still did when the occurrence had happened. So I'm quite fine with driving that amount of distance.
And did you look for other places to live in and around Seymour?
According to my agent, is that Seymour has a ordinance, I think it's an ordinance for sex offenders that they do not allow them there because of the school and the parks.
Did you try Shawano County where the crime occurred?
No, I have not. That's, in my opinion, it's too far from my parents.
Where are your
But
parents?
They live in Seymour.
Okay. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
It's okay, just figure out the mileage every year.
Well, I mean, I've worked with people who've done that kind of.
Question for you. This incident, were you living in Green Bay at the time?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you drove to Shawano County, and that's where they arrested you, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
No, you said you've never, ever been interested in 15-year-olds, but yet then, when you were reading that, you said, nor will I be, nor was I, but you must have been.
Curiosity just got the best of me. Pretty much. I wasn't thinking straight at all. Was in kind of a rough situation at the time, and
What situation? Describe what your situation was.
I had a bad relationship that ended badly. And that kind of resulted in my action.
Okay, I just want to follow you through that and that. So you had a bad relationship.
Yes.
It made you do this?
Yeah, because I was lonely and sad and depressed.
Okay, but as you had already said, driving to Shawano County is not a short distance.
No, it's not, and I was stupid and I shouldn't have even driven that far.
But to get that far, that means you have to go on Craigslist, get on the computer, look at Craigslist, look at the ads, look at the types of ads. So you kind of were looking for something, so, I mean, as far as personal responsibility is concerned, it's not so much what happened to you, it's
Yeah.
what you did to get to that point. Do you follow me?
With my learning problem, no.
What is your learning problem?
I have ADD.
Okay. I do too. I have ADHD.
Okay.
I don't know if this helps, but this was like a 5-day conversation before the arrest took place. So it wasn't like,
It's for the moment.
it's for the moment.
Yeah.
So you definitely tried to form some sort of relationship with this girl. Or at the time you thought a 15-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Sure was an officer on the other side.
Yes.
And right away on the first day, you knew she was 15. That came out right away?
I'm not sure if it came out right away on the first day. I think it might have been the second day.
Second day.
Okay, just in looking at his ad at correctional services too, you completed all assignments and asked questions, gained more confidence. You also accepted feedback from your peers. Aftercare, or he was considered low risk, looks like here. From this, ad at correctional services. Okay, anything more, is anybody here that wants to speak?
My mom wasn't able to make it.
Okay.
She had to work.
Okay. All right, does anybody want to, any more questions for him? Anybody want to make a motion?
Quick question.
Go ahead.
Where are you currently staying?
My parents are generous enough to let me sleep on their couch at the moment until I can get my own apartment.
And where do they live?
They live in Seymour.
Okay.
I just would like to move on with my life and get an apartment so I can get off my parents' couch.
Have you, so let me just ask, have you looked at other apartments in the Seymour area at all?
No,
Okay.
not after my agent had called them. I don't know who she talked to. And they pretty much told her that they don't want sex offenders living there.
Okay.
I guess because of the schools and the parks and stuff, so.
Yeah, something you're gonna have to live with.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody want to make a motion here?
I make a motion to approve Mr. Gussie?
Gussie.
Gussie?
Yes.
1655 West Mason, address specific.
Is there a second? Okay, the motion fails based on the fact there is not a second. Does anybody want to make another motion?
I'm making a motion that we deny Mr. Gossi the, his, application.
To 1655 West Mason Street?
Correct.
Okay, is there a second? I'll second that motion. So we're gonna go ahead and vote.
Vote to deny passes on a 3-1 vote.
Okay. Sir, you have been denied to move to 1655 West Mason Street. Doesn't mean you can't come back to us. And so I don't know if anybody wants to list the reasons why, but right now he can't live at 1655 West Mason, okay? All right,
Thank you.
thank you. Out again.
I got kicked out for a minute.
Third time. Doesn't like me. Okay, Mr. Holmes? Thank you. Okay, Mr. Holmes, we're here to hear your appeal.
I think it's a 90-day
Yep,
review.
yep, this is review. Sorry, I'm just trying to bring this up here, I apologize. Okay, so just before we begin though, I just want to make sure you're okay with talking about your treatment program in public. Okay, go ahead.
About my offense?
No, we just want to talk about your treatment documentation and where you're at from an employment
the
standpoint.
last time I was here, I was told to contact them because they didn't give me anything upon completion.
Right.
So I wrote to them, and this is what they sent me back.
Okay. Do you also, by the way, have a job now?
Yes.
And where do you work?
Stanley Steamer.
How long have you worked there for?
A month or so.
Okay, so according to this information from the Wisconsin Department of Corrections, you were enrolled in SOT, but you did not complete it because you were moved to a different program for...
No, the top part was the first time. It was the end of my supervision in 2012. The second part is when I caught the disorderly conduct in Brown County, and I was sentenced to probation here. But because I couldn't stay up here, they transferred it down to Milwaukee, and because I had the sex offender treatment, or I was on the sex offender probation before, they was debating whether or not they should put me on it again.
Okay, so in other words, you didn't do any SOT, but you did complete DV, domestic violence.
The second, for the disorderly conduct, yes.
For the disorderly, but it says at the
The
time
top
of your
part.
discharge from supervision in 2012, you were still enrolled in SOT training.
Yes, because I have one before my actual release date.
But in summary though, you haven't completed SOT.
I completed upon completion of my first probation, or my extended supervision in 2012. That's what, and then
Doesn't say
they
that.
asked.
Okay, I'm just reading it right from, it says, per your request below, the case notes made by your supervising agent regarding SOT. At the time of your discharge from supervision in 2012, you were still enrolled in SOT.
That is true.
Okay? It doesn't say that you completed it.
But they don't, like I said, they didn't hand out a certificate of upon completion because I was in the group until I finished supervision.
I understood, but in their chronological file, while you're in custody and then transferred over to probation parole, they will list if you've completed it.
Well, I finished my last group, which was the August 20, I think it was 26th or 22nd. I don't know what day it says on there because I finished extended supervision August 29, 2012.
Yep, that's what it says.
So my last group was that Saturday before that.
But it doesn't say you completed it.
Yeah,
It's not gonna, there's no completion in that.
No, everybody that does SOT, I'm not talking about the certificate, okay? What I'm talking about is if you completed it, they would have said program was completed.
Well, I don't understand. If I'm on supervision and then they say I'm in the group until I'm finished supervision, and then I go to my last group before I complete supervision, how am I not completed if I'm no longer supervision?
Then that has to be taken up with your parole agent, probation on parole. They're the ones who determine whether in fact you completed it, is that?
So the question is do you see in his paperwork upon his release that he had to complete SOT training as part of the condition of his parole? I'm asking you, do you have that or not?
No.
Okay.
I'll go through the paperwork here again, but that's not something I usually look for.
Yeah, I understand that. That's why I didn't know, because based on what I see here, we don't have his original paperwork online, so I can't see if that was a condition of his parole. Because if it was a condition of your parole and release, then I'm with you.
I get that. I don't understand how they let me off for extended supervision
CCAP
then.
wouldn't tell that.
How they allow me off for extended supervision if I didn't complete the SOT treatment.
Would CCAP?
If it was part of the original sentence,
Yeah.
CCAP would have it on there.
Yeah.
But if it was just a term that was added by the probation officer,
Then
then
no.
it wouldn't be on there.
Right.
Okay.
This
So-
paperwork was already with the matters of intervention stuff. First time I applied.
Okay, so basically, just for the record, he has successfully completed the No More Batter intervention program, okay? So I just want to make sure everybody's got that.
I do have the sentencing.
Okay.
One is very difficult to get anything out of, but conditions, complete sex offender evaluation, AODA assessment, cooperate with treatment programs, no contact with any drugs, drug dealer, drug users, or drug houses, submit graduate screens, full-time employment, no contact with the victim. That's basically what they sentencing.
Okay, so they, basically, the sentence says, get it, but it doesn't say it has to be.
Right.
So,
All right, and just one other quick question for you. So far, he has no other citations, anything else that's come up?
No, nothing, when I checked last week, nothing new in Green Bay.
Okay, good.
Nope, I just go to work and I come home. That's it.
All right.
it, just for clarification, it merely says as part of his sentencing that he's supposed to complete the sex offender evaluation and then cooperate with treatment programs.
Right.
It does not specifically state that he must
Complete one.
complete the sex offender treatment program.
So again, what we're just looking for is, because you don't have, the letter doesn't say you completed it, and you're saying, well, it's part of my supervision release that I had to complete it. Well, on your sentencing, it doesn't say that you, all you have to do is have an evaluation, it says.
Which I did.
Well,
And
that
then
we get that.
This just says that before I was released on probation, that I had another SOT group. And then this is saying that they don't know if I completed it.
Right.
But I didn't need it for the disorderly conduct that I had.
No, that I understand.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what this is saying.
Yeah.
But this right here is saying that I had SOT, I went to it, and the way I wouldn't reoffend is my family, and at the time my wife or my fiance would be my support system.
I get that, but. I
But
mean,
this is
just-
what they said to me after the last time I was here. They said
Yep.
that I need proof that I attended SOT, which
That says you attended it. It doesn't say you completed the program though. Just, so, I'm just.
what I don't understand, because like I said, this is what specifically I was asked to bring. And
This is all you have, we understand that. That's fine,
Mhm.
you got what you got, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Can't give us something that wasn't there.
was directly from
Right.
them, so
Yeah.
they said this is what something saying that I had
No,
SOT
you
treatment.
got something from the state. I mean, that's, we know where you started from. So, okay, does anybody want to make a motion in regards to his current address and extending it or terminating it, or any motion?
I'll make a motion to approve him to 816 Mather Street.
Address specific?
Yes, address.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
Okay, we're gonna have a vote.
Vote passes unanimously.
Okay. So you have been approved to that location. Currently, you want the letter sent to that location?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. Good luck.
Thank you.
Mr. Stephen Loomis?
Yes, hello. One thing I would like to point out, the address that they have listed is the 1179 is my current residence, but it's in Alice Drive. My address that is 1930 Eastman.
That you
So
want to
that's-
move to?
Yes.
That's what we have.
1930
Yes,
Eastman.
that is, yes, but on the agenda sheet, it has 1179 Eastman.
Oh,
So I just wanted to
on the
clarify
application, it
that.
does say
Yeah, I
1930.
screwed up.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Okay. So we're gonna go over your application. Again, just want to not refer to any personal names.
Sure.
Can we discuss your treatment programs in public or private?
Or public's fine.
Okay. All right, so why don't you tell us about your conviction and what occurred and how it happened?
Well, basically, I was in a really bad place in my life back when that happened. I established unhealthy boundaries with my victim, and I had repeated counts of sexual assault with said victim. It took, basically, went on a trip with my victim to Indiana. I wanted to go home early. It all just came out in the wash. I called for help treatment. I spent 8 months and it was a psychologist, and I went through a book called The Road to Freedom, which was a sex offender book. Helped me before I was ever convicted of everything, okay? Spent 5 years in prison, got out, started seeing the circles of support, been going every day since. I got right here is my certificate for the SOT. I completed my program. I've already started my aftercare, and that's kind of where I'm at.
So how long were you assaulting the victim?
I was for a year.
And how did it come out that she brought it to light?
Basically in the police report, he's got that I was trying to ruin her fun by going home. It was just that we took a 5-day trip. I wanted to go home early instead of be there till Tuesday. It was a Sunday, and I said, we're going home. So then it came out that I was assaulting her at that point. In the police documentation, it was, why did you come out now? He was trying to ruin my fun. So basically, that's how it came out, but everything that's documented is based on what I told everybody. So I pled no contest. That's how the thing is. I wrote down my 3 offenses that occurred between us, and that's where that happened.
So is that what you see?
Yeah, I was cooperating with the Economic Police Department.
Okay. So, tell us why you did it, or why you...
I was in a really bad place. My marriage at the time, my wife, before she had an aneurysm, was really horrible to me, and it would just put me in a really bad spot. And it was just that, and it was easy and convenient. I had built no boundaries. I took advantage of a teenager, and that's really what it was. It was, it was stupid.
So you knew you were doing something wrong?
Well, I did and I didn't. At the time, before I went through treatment to understand things, a lot of states and things have those kind of age groups as acceptable. So I believed it was right until I got to my program with Rebecca to unravel everything, to understand that what I did was completely wrong and boundless. I had no boundaries established. I allowed things to happen around me, and I just took advantage of a very easy situation. And reflecting back on that, it bothers me. And I don't know if you guys read the news, but Nicole Eggert made a statement about Scott Baio, and when I was in treatment, I read this, and how it reflected on what happened with me and what I did, and I go, wow, I took advantage of a teenager's hormones in those situations, and that's what occurred with me.
How old were you at the time?
40.
Okay.
And the victim was how old?
13.
So we're not talking about,
Right.
yeah, we're talking about very young
Yes.
teenager. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So were you released in 2015, about 2 years ago?
Oh no, I was released last year, March 7th of 2017.
Okay. And where are you currently employed?
Office Max. I've been there for about 1.5 years now. I am a customer service manager.
All right. And are you looking to buy this location?
Yes.
Okay, so it's based on what you
Yes.
have here.
I'll be living there with my 2 children, both 12 and 11, so.
So you would be living with your 2 children?
Yes.
Okay. And are you still on paper?
Yes, I have 9 years left.
And so obviously your parole officer's okay with that?
Absolutely. I have no, I can live with my children, everything, so I don't have any restrictions against my 2 biological children, so.
Okay. All right, any more questions for him? Does anybody want to speak either for or against him? Just have your name again?
Yeah, Eric Iovnik,
Go ahead.
2766 Viking Drive, apartment 1C. So Steve's been coming to group since March 2017. He's only missed 1 meeting in that time, which we enjoy ribbing him about, but honestly, it's very impressive considering all of the responsibilities that he has. It's not just that he comes to group, it's that he is very willing to share any issues that come up, any sorts of struggles, and we work things out, and he's willing to help out other group members if he has some information or an opinion he thinks could help. He's more than willing to share it, so I think it shows a lot about his commitment to change.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right, sir, did you serve in the military?
Yes, it did.
Did you want to speak also? You can come on.
Your name, sir?
My name is Dean Attic II. I live at 1363 Mesa Drive.
Go ahead, sir.
Green Bay, Wisconsin. Personally, I don't feel it's such a good idea. I know the victim, and there's more than one, but the problem is they won't come forward because of threats. And to put this individual in an area where he can have contact with children is a very, very bad situation. After his conviction, he was actually at his kid's school, which part of his conviction was no contact with minor children. There was other kids that were at that school in that playground. It took 4 parents going up to the principal's office to finally let him know he is not allowed there unsupervised to pick up his children.
May I
He
interrupt?
does what he wants.
May I interrupt? What is your relationship to the applicant?
I have a child with his wife.
Okay.
Okay,
His ex-wife, I'm assuming.
No,
His current wife.
correct.
Okay, right.
okay.
When this all started, he wouldn't even allow her to let me see my child. So his thing with it, the way his wife treated him, is a crock, because she called me crying because of the way he was treating her. She would have to sneak my daughter out to me, or he would get mad at her.
Well, just let him finish, okay, and then you'll have a chance.
Well, I have a question here, because I'm not even sure if this is appropriate getting into this. I don't think this is appropriate. If we could get into it, find out, because whether you have personal grievances about something else, what we need to know is your input as to your personal.
You're putting a child at risk by allowing him in that area. You are putting children.
Do you live in that area?
I have 3 friends that live in that area. Alyssa tried to make the meeting, but she don't get done with work until 6. When she found out, she was livid because she also knows his wife. She was livid that he's coming. She tried and begged. I was messaging her. She was trying to get off from work from her supervisor. She is mad that these meetings are while she's at work.
This is
because
when they're
is the third
scheduled.
one.
This is when they're scheduled. Okay, do you have any other information about whether he completed these programs or anything like that?
Since his conviction, he has not completely followed the rules. Like I said, he's been to his kid's grade school unsupervised after his conviction. The principal was approached by several
Okay, but you
parents.
stated that,
So I guess my question is, if he violated the terms of his parole, wouldn't that have gotten back to the parole officer?
did you call?
It has been noted. Officer Vieser was also notified about it.
Who's
He was
Officer
actu-
Vieser?
act- Officer Jim Vieser, he's a retired Green Bay police officer. He was notified about it too. The problem was everything fell through the cracks because he wasn't sentenced yet. It was between his conviction and sentencing hearing.
Okay, that, we're talking about way in the past. then.
5 years ago.
Right?
We're talking about. This is not recent, this is over 5 years ago, right?
Over 6
I'm just
years
asking
ago.
you.
You have no recollection of what's going on with me
Well,
right
Wait,
now.
I don't think.
I
Yeah.
apologize.
I'm just trying, we're trying to hear his testimony, so this was 5 years ago when he was convicted.
Okay, I'm gonna
and
be
was
honest with you. It fell through the cracks. Got DNA proof. One of the victims was also my daughter. And she has been, because of him, she hasn't even lived with her mom since she was 13 years old.
We can't
Okay.
get into the identity.
Well, this is, I'm not giving her name, okay?
It doesn't matter.
You're talking about relationships.
Irrelevant.
So you're just.
Because the thing was, is my daughter at the time was living in Marinette County, but she was forced to come and visit him in Brown County. But the transfer was in O'Connell County. There was a discrepancy who was going to charge him, and they dropped the ball.
So just so I get your testimony and we'll let you go, is you're saying that there was more than one victim that it
Correct.
to? Okay. Okay, that's the first thing. So that's just saying what his testimony is.
Do you have any information since he's been released from prison?
He's been at, I know he's been over by his kids because I have another friend that lives literally right around the corner on Luke Lane.
Okay, we know this. That information's in what we have. He has 2 children. If there are any violations, have you contacted his probation or parole agent?
I have tried contacting probation and parole. They will not tell me who his agent is.
Okay.
It just gives a general number, and you call a general number, and they will not give the actual name of the agent. They just tell you can leave information.
And you have left information?
And I have left information.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So if you want to comment, you're more than welcome to comment on his, I'll be right with you, man. Just let him get one and we'll go to the next one. Go ahead.
I'm, okay.
You don't have to.
No, I don't, yeah.
Okay. Ma'am, you want to come up and testify? You
Yes,
just your
I'm
name
sorry,
and
I didn't
address?
fill out a slip to do that.
I need your name.
My name is Marilyn Loomis, and I live at 1179 Ellis Drive, and he is my son.
Okay.
And I am also his sponsor, or whatever they call it. My husband and I both are. And I have to say that Stephen has followed the rules to the nth degree. So much so that he is super cautious if he puts himself in a situation, or he could put himself in a situation where he would be with other children. He makes sure that we're with him, that he has called the schools that his children attend and asked them, the principal, can he attend? And I've gone with him, and as far as taking his children and dropping them off at the other home where the other victims live, he always makes sure that he doesn't drop them off in front of the house. It's always down the street, around the corner. And I have gone with him on numerous occasions. He's very careful about getting himself in any kind of situation that will send him back. He does not want to be separated from his children. He is their dad, and he's bringing them up to the best of his ability. So,
And you have custody of your children?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So he does.
Here's just sort of clarification. I am still married, but when I went to prison, my wife lived with her parents, so I've been living with my parents. Tomorrow, actually, we're gonna go to marriage counseling, and she's got, the dynamics of what happened with my case and the situation that was brought up They all live on that side of the town. Once everything is situated, then we're gonna try to wean her into living with me, but right now it's just me and my children. So we are fixing the marriage and everything else, so that's, 13 years, so.
One other quick question for you. There's nothing in the file that the victim or anybody else insinuated there was other victims?
No, I don't have that. I can do additional research, but I can't.
Okay.
There is none. I will, trust me, I've passed polygraphs, and there's been no issues and no anything else. And I came forward with my crime, and that is one of the reasons why everything went down, so.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am, can you actually just grab a sheet, just, I think you want her to fill out that sheet? You got it, okay. All right, good. You're good.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, does anybody have any more questions for him? All right, does anybody want to make a motion?
Motion to approve address, the applicant's request address specific.
To 1930 Eastman Street, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a second?
I will second that.
All right. We'll have a vote.
Motion does not pass, there's a 2-2 vote.
Okay, so the motion failed. So now we go back to the discussion because it was a tie vote at this particular time. So does anybody, in terms of their vote, have of not approving him or approving, want to state their opinion just so the rest of the board can hear it as to what their reasoning is? See if there's a reason to take another vote, or if we're at an impasse, then we're at an impasse. No comments from anybody? Okay. Sir,
Can I just state?
Go ahead, go ahead.
I would really, is there anything else that this applicant could do that would change the minds of the other two individuals?
No, I think that's why I tried to get the discussion off. No one wants to say anything. I mean, go ahead, sir.
I've, other than what just came up, I've never missed a meeting in my SOT program where Rebecca says, I've never had anybody never miss a meeting. I was there all the time. I've done everything anybody's ever asked. Before I even got sentenced to prison, I paid out of pocket to go to therapy to understand what I did wrong, so I wouldn't have to go to prison, okay? I want to win. I own a car, I have my kids, I'm doing everything I possibly can. I can't fail. I told my PO when I came out, I want to win. All I want to do is win because I don't want to lose my family. I don't want to lose this. I have too much to lose. I have a good full-time job as a customer service manager. I have all these placements in play that I have Brittany, who I'm completely transparent with. Anything that would come up, I tell them. I've passed my poly. I talk to Rebecca. I have my family and friends. I would throw literally everything away to ever offend again. I will never, it's so unfathomable, I will never offend again. I have too much to lose. You know, my life, it's weird to say that with losing my life 5-6 years ago and being where I'm at now, I'm in a better place. My head is focused. I mean, I have credit cards. I never had credit cards because I couldn't balance my money. So I have credit to get a house. I mean, if you think about that, is that I have over 700 credit. Last December, I was at a 500, and I'm up to 700, and I got a VA loan approval, nonetheless, to get a house. So in that respect, to throw it all away for stupidity, my mother, my whole family will cut me off for the rest of my life. I'll lose my kids. I don't, you know.
So I have one question, though. I mean, so you're currently living on Alice Drive, right?
That is my parents' house, correct.
Okay. And you've been out for about a year, right?
Year and a half, yes.
Yeah. We don't have record of him coming in front of us to move at this location, do we?
It's
That's a
it's
Schwabenon.
That's a
Schwabenon,
Schwabenon too?
yes.
Okay, all right. Just says Green Bay, that's the reason.
Oh,
why I asked.
yeah.
So,
It's Schwabenon.
okay,
And his kids are living in our basement, and all he's trying to do is give a better life to his own
My
family.
daughter's been dying for her own room, and I have this opportunity to give them what they want.
well, unfortunately, we have a member of our board here that's not here, so that's why we're in a 4-4 tie.
Okay.
And our other person that is a substitute obviously couldn't be here. So, I mean, when we have a 4-4 tie, if no one's willing to change your vote at this time, it doesn't mean you can't come back next month.
I don't know what I can do. I guess if
Well,
somebody says.
what I'm telling
Yeah.
you is that if we have 5 people on the board,
Sure.
And when there's a 2-2 tie right now,
Right.
that fifth member of
Right.
the board is either gonna
Based,
say
right.
no or gonna say yes.
Based
That's
on,
what I'm telling you.
right, based on what somebody getting anonymous approval, based on, I've done everything you could possibly imagine for somebody getting out in a year and a half, full-time job, has the finances, has this, that, to say no, and I go, I never miss a meeting, a circle support, never missing anything, I have an immaculate record. It's the only crime in my entire life, ever. So outside of the fact that I have this crime, that I'm having this conversation with anybody in this room, I am no different.
Yeah,
So
but,
I
but
get,
sir,
yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna disagree with you mightily here.
Okay.
You're marginalizing this crime.
Oh, no.
I mean, you
absolutely
just
not.
said, yeah, I've never done anything other than this crime. You affected,
Well, it's a big
you
crime.
affected someone who is 13 years old or younger at the time, and you of your own fruition did that. Now, you're taking responsibility for it, which again is a big step. But I'm sorry, you're here because of you, not
yes,
because of
absolutely.
this board.
But my question is, what is it I need to do? What pinnacle for that person to say, okay, I'm okay with this, do I need to do? I guess that's my question.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, this is a board that's not paid, we're just a citizen board,
Sure.
and people are trying to make the best decisions possible,
Correct.
okay? So at this particular time, you have 2 people that felt that you were a good risk to live in the city, and 2 people that don't, okay?
Okay.
All right? Because we're at a tie, a 2-2 tie, and no one's willing to move on their particular vote at this particular moment.
Does that still stand, or
Well, that's,
within this conversation,
well,
has somebody
again,
changed?
if we want to take another vote, we can do that because we were at a tie, so the motion failed, okay?
Does someone want to entertain the motion again, because we did do that earlier for another applicant?
Yep, we can definitely vote again if someone's willing to, but again, if, because, our votes are anonymous, I don't necessarily want to tell the person that voted no, the 2 people that voted no, to basically, say, hey, I voted no. I mean, so the question is we can't ask for another motion. If it ends up in a tie, I'm not gonna allow another vote after that. Okay? So, at this particular time, if someone wants to make the motion again, you're more than welcome to make the motion again.
I'll make the same motion that I made earlier to approve Mr. Loomis' address specific to
1930.
1930 Easton Avenue, Green Bay.
Address specific?
Address specific.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, so we're gonna vote again. But again, even if it ends in a 2-2 tie, again, if we have 5 people next, you can apply again next month.
Okay.
Motion passes 3-1.
Okay, so you are approved to move to 1930 Eastman Street, address specific. Where would you like that sent to, the Alice Drive?
1179, yes.
Okay, all right,
Thank you very much.
all right.
Have a great day.
Okay, our next meeting is Wednesday, September 12th, at 2:30. Is there any other information or anything else anybody would like to add to today's agenda?
No,
Does anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Do we have to vote on this one?
Yes, we do.
Seconded?
Okay, I can take voice votes too. So is there a motion for the next meeting being September 12th?
Yes.
And there was a second.
Okay, so Kathy, you made the motion, and Melissa second?
Yes.
Is everybody voting yes?
Yes.
I can
Yes.
just mark, I can
Yes.
just mark all as yes.
Okay.
Okay, motion passes.
Motion for adjournment. I make a motion to adjourn.
Yes.
Second.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes.
All right, thank you, guys.
Just, I don't know if anybody caught this on the way out.
Way up.
Ready to stop?
Yes.